I'm not too worried if she had a bit of fun with someone else on a work trip. I'm more worried about her finding someone to leave me for. I tell myself this as I click to see the attached images in the email. "Mr. Anderson, I think these will interest you," is all he says in his note. I look at the small pictures in the email, clicking on each to make them bigger. My skin feels weird as I move the mouse to see each one. "Shoot," I say under my breath when I see a picture of Tiffany kissing another man deeply. I go to the next picture and feel really upset. She's without her top next to a hotel swimming pool, laughing with the man sitting by her. My wife isn't the type to show her body like that to anyone, so this picture really shocks me. Another email comes in while I'm looking at the pictures, so I open it. "Mr. Anderson, you should come to Dallas soon. I have been watching your wife for the last few hours, and I can say for sure there's a lot happening behind your back. This is the worst I've seen." Mr. Maven leaves his name and phone number at the end. I grab my phone and dial the number to get the private detective on the line. "Hello," I say, out of breath waiting for his voice. "Mr. Anderson," he says with no warmth, "got the emails I sent you?" "Yeah," I whisper back, "they don't look good, Mr. Maven." He lets out a heavy sigh. "You need to come over, Mr. Anderson. Can't say much over the phone. You gotta see it to believe it." "So I gotta fly to Dallas now?" "Better sooner than later. You gotta face this or your wife might hurt herself." "What?" My heart sinks. I'm now worried about her safety. "Hurt herself how?" "Mr. Anderson, your wife's not okay. Haven't seen anything like this. She's not right." "Not okay? What's that mean?" "Just that she's been with at least 2 men in the last 12 hours and looks like she's going for a third right now." He clears his throat. "Seen a lot, but this is new. You gotta get here, stop this now. I'm really scared for my wife." I pull a notepad and pen closer. "Where's she now? What's she up to?" "She's at the pool. Sent you a pic an hour ago. Mrs. Anderson's still there, still without her top on. The hotel's strict on no nudity, they warned her once." "Did she put it back on?" I ask. "Did," he says, "but looks like she took it off again after security left. Your wife seems a bit drunk." I sigh, pressing a hand against my forehead. "Can you stop her? Tell her I said to stop." "Mr. Anderson, I'll try, but you coming here would mean a lot more." "Look, Anderson, that's not a good idea. I don't get into people's private stuff. You have to deal with it since she's your wife." "I get it." I glance around my office, thinking about all the work I still have to do, especially with the business insurance. There's so much left, but I can't just ignore what the detective is telling me about Tiffany. I need to help her before things get too bad. I have to head to Dallas. There's a flight at 2 from here to there, Mr. Anderson. I've got a spot held for you. Just need you to say yes and pay. It's about $300, last minute and all." "Understood, thanks." Standing up, I ask, "What do I bring? What's waiting for me?" He lets out a breath. "Wish I could say, Mr. Anderson. Be ready to stay a couple of days and be ready to talk straight to your wife." Mr. Maven stops a beat before adding, "Get ready for the idea that Mrs. Anderson might need some help. What she's doing isn't regular." "Okay," I respond, feeling my heartbeat fast. Even though Tiffany has been unfaithful, I can't stop worrying about her. She's my wife after all. No matter her actions, not many know me like she does. Fewer still are those I'd rather be with. Despite everything, she's my world, so it's quick how I go from upset to worried. "I'll see you in a few hours. Safe travels." "Thanks," I say before he ends the call. Damn. I stare at my phone for a second before dialing my sister. I hope she can stay with the kids overnight so I can go to Dallas. "Hey, what's up?" My sister laughs as she picks up. "Rebecca, I need a big favor." "A big favor? What kind, Jason?" "A really big one. Okay, I need to leave town tonight and was hoping you could watch the kids until tomorrow night. Why are you going, Jason? She sounds a bit mad as she asks. No one but Rebecca and the detective knows about my wife's actions. My sister already isn't a fan of Tiffany, and knowing this would only make things worse between them. I really don't want her to know my plans. I need to go out of state tonight for work research. Can you keep an eye on Mark and Lili? I try my best to sound convincing over the phone. It's the weekend, Jason. What work do you have with insurance now? I'm already working. See, it's a job that never stops. Can you help? Rebecca lets out a sigh. What's really happening, Jason? Your voice gives you away. It's about your wife, isn't it? Tell me what's happening before I say yes to watching the kids. Her voice is firm and cold, demanding the truth. When she's like this, you can't really say no. Okay, I say, finding it hard to keep talking. It's about Tiffany. She might be in trouble. Trouble? Yes, something in Dallas I need to fix before it's too late. I'll be back tomorrow. Just look after things here and I'll make it up to you. Sometimes I give my sister a bit of cash for watching the kids for a long time. She often says no to the money, but I make her take it every time. No way, she says straight up. Tiffany is being unfaithful again, right? We don't talk for a bit after she says that. You can't even say it, can you, Jason? She's walking all over you because you let her. Everyone's laughing at you. Please, Rebecca, I try to keep calm as I speak. I can't deal with this now. All right, look for someone else then. Maybe Mrs. Danforth next door. But Mrs. Danforth is super old and can hardly see or hear. I can't ask her to look after my kids, especially not quick like this. Becky, I say, trying to get her to listen. Don't use that name, she tells me. Is she seeing another guy right now, Jason? Just say it. I clench my teeth, knowing I need my sister to help with the kids, so I admit, yeah, something's up, but the detective I hired wants me to check on Tiffany to make sure she's safe. He's worried about her. Is Tiffany in trouble? She asks. That's what the detective thinks. He says I need to get there fast to help her. If not, the cops might get involved and things could get worse. Cops? Yes, the cops might come if Tiffany doesn't change her ways. I'm hoping to help her fix things. We don't say anything for a while as I wait for my sister to answer. She finally says to me, okay, I'll watch them, Jason. You gotta make me one promise, though. A promise like what? Like you won't let Tiffany cheat on you no more, Jason. You gotta face her and stop this mess. She's been tricking you since that time with your best man. Don't act blind, big brother. You need to look out for you and the kids first if she's turning into someone you can't be with. Hearing Rebecca say this hurts my heart a bit. She's right, of course, and I've been thinking about it for some time now. Depending on what I find in Dallas, I might have to leave Tiffany. I don't want to, but I can't let her sneak around behind my back forever. Something's gotta give. I get it, Rebecca. I'll think about all that. Don't mess up again, brother. Kick her out if she's not treating you right. Rebecca hangs up, and I put my phone down on the desk. Damn, I hate fighting, I whisper in the quiet office, yet I know I must see what Tiffany's been doing in Dallas. A plane's waiting to take me to her, and all I gotta do is get on and find out what to say. I wonder, trying to imagine our talk. Hey, honey. I heard you're with a lot of guys here. The words sound wrong as I say them, Tiff. What are you doing here? This feels a bit less harsh, but still tough. It's a starting point. As I grab my phone and jacket, there's time at the airport and then on the flight to think about how to start talking with Tiffany. For now, I just want to stop thinking too hard on what my wife might be doing behind my back, Mr. Anderson, the private detective, says, coming up to me, looking serious. I'm sorry I had to call you here. He reaches out, and I shake his hand. Glad you called, Mr. Maven. Where is she now? He looks around the big hotel front room. Though Tiffany is here in this hotel, we can talk softly here in the large room. Your wife's in room 741, he says as he gets out a plastic key from his pocket. He gives it to me. I had to give money to someone at the desk to get this. How much? I asked, knowing I'll have to pay him back. 300, I go pale, seeing how big this has all got for him to pay someone that much. Wow, does it work? It does, he says, sure. I used it when Mrs. Anderson was down in the bar. She was in the bar? I feel a tight grip in my chest as I look to the doors that lead to the bar. For how long? About an hour, Mr. Maven says. She was with a man she met by the pool before. So, she meets this guy, cleans up, has drinks, and now she's up in her room. What about the guy? The look on his face tells me before he says it. They went up together about 30 minutes ago. Damn, I don't usually swear in front of folks, not in my family, but I can't help it now. I know it's hard, but I thought you should see for yourself what's happening. I asked him, did you go in and see what my wife is doing? He shakes his head hard. I don't break into places, Mr. Anderson. But that doesn't stop me from giving my clients a way to do it. If you go in, it's all on you. If cops show up, you've got to talk your way out. I'll act like I know nothing about that key, the man says, eyeing my hand, then meeting my gaze again. It's your call. Now I nod, taking a moment to think. What about you? If it was your wife, would you check on her if she was with another guy? Mr. Maven just shrugs. Maybe, but I'd be ready for whatever I find. You can't be scared if you decide to sneak in on two people being together like that. No way. I've heard stories where a mad husband finds his wife with another man and gets beat up bad by the other guy. I don't want that for me, but I know it's possible. I'll do it, I say, my body shaking as I glance at the card again before putting it in my shirt pocket. Wish me luck. The detective nods as I head for the elevator. Riding up feels weird, and I give a nervous smile to another man in the elevator with me. When the door opens on the 7th floor, I step out and don't look back as he goes up more. Man, Jason, I whisper to myself, starting to feel scared. Tiffany might catch me. Where's the room? 741 is far down the long hall near the stairs. I notice the door to the stairs tells how to leave if there's a fire, but not if an angry boyfriend is chasing me. Some help that would be. But I keep going to the door. I check around me as I take the key card from my pocket. I stand in the quiet hall alone, trying to get the door open with a plastic card. I press my ear to the door, listening. No sound, but that doesn't really mean anything. These doors keep noise out very well. I slide the card into the lock, and a light changes color. Do open now. I turn the knob slowly, not wanting Tiffany to hear. Luckily, it's quiet enough. After I close the door behind me, I walk down the hallway to the big bed. I'm about to call out to my wife when I see her with the man. Tiffany, the man breathes out as he moves her feet, touching the wall more. Chad, I am, he says between breaths, moving more harder. Chad, go deep, please, she asks again. The man tries to move in a way that goes even deeper. Oh, Tiffany, he says, I can't do more or I'll finish too soon. Let's slow down. No, she says and makes him stop. She takes control, telling him, I'll show you the right way. Then she does something bold with her mouth, going as far as she can. I can't believe this is happening. I feel confused and shocked, my own body reacting as I try to make sense of it all. I've never seen my wife act like this, and I've never felt so turned on. What's gotten into Tiffany? Stop, I'm going to burst. The man's feet stick out as Tiffany goes at it. Stop, you're going to make me finish. He stops her, letting go, as his hands try to hide his bits. Damn, lady, what the heck? You don't like it real, huh? You like it with gals who just say yes, right? Come on, Chad, be a man. Tiffany grabs his bits, making him wince. You got a lot in you, and I want it now. She gets on top and fits him inside her. Too much, he says, looking around. I hide just out of sight. Tiffany starts moving fast, her butt hitting his lap loud. She's small, but she's always been a big deal in bed. I like when she takes control, but she's never done this with me. It's hot, but also weird. I want it, she tells him as the bed makes noise. Tiffany moves back and forth, his thing going in and out of her. As he gets close, a rubber, he tells her, shouldn't I use one? I don't want to make you have a kid, Tiffany. I don't care, she snaps, moving even more. Tiffany takes his hands to her chest, her dark points are hard as he touches. Oh, you feel so good, she moans, close. Yet, if you don't let me pull out, it's going to happen inside, he tells her, you'll get a baby, maybe, she laughs, moving faster. Oh, but it'll feel so good, oh no. Ah, the guy curls his toes as he lets go inside her. Ah, he grabs her hard as he finishes, a look on his face like he's heard he really didn't want to make her pregnant. She moves in a wave, leaning back. Yes, yes, she shakes hard, welcoming him deep inside her, acting like this is what she needed. Yes, she pushes back hard on him as she feels it too. Do it, Chad, I'm watching, feeling all mixed up. What did I do? He gets out from under her and stands up. I have to go, then he sees me. Who are you? I'm her husband, my hand stops moving, but I'm still feeling it. Man, he starts to get his clothes, I didn't know she said she was single. She's married, I look at my wife now, under the covers. The wild woman is gone, and there's my Tiffany. Why are you here? I'm sorry, she says right away. So sorry, Jason, please, I head for the door. I did get something out of watching, but I'm hurt she'd go behind my back. Can't believe this, Jason, I hear Tiffany jump out of bed and dash toward me, but I shut the door before she can catch me. Then, knowing no one will chase me, I head to the elevator to get to the hotel lobby. Down there, I'm not sure what to do first, but I think I should find Mr. Maven, maybe offer him a drink at the bar. It's a small way to thank him for helping me end my marriage. I sit on a bench in the lobby, lost in thought about what I saw upstairs and what it means for my marriage. How could you do this to me? I whisper, glancing around. I could have stayed to ask Tiffany, but when I saw the man she was with, I just couldn't stay. Are you okay? The detective asked, sitting next to me. You saw something bad, didn't you? Yeah, I say quietly, trying to swallow, but my throat is too dry. She was with him in our bed. I saw everything. I'm really sorry, he says, putting a hand on my shoulder. If there's anything I can do, just say so. Or do you need me to stop working now? Hiring him already cost me a lot. So I tell Mr. Maven, I think I'm done needing your help. Thanks for everything, he nods. I'll send you all the info I have in a couple of days. If you have questions, you can call or email me. I get it. I frown as I look around the front room, asking him, do you think she cares at all that she did this to me? He just lifts his shoulders up and down. Care or not, your wife was not true to you, Mr. Anderson. I don't know what to say to make it feel any less bad, but life keeps going. Hold on to that as you get through this, man, I say as I see Tiffany across the room. She just came out of the lift wearing an old shirt and blue jeans. Do you want me to stay while you talk to her? No, I answer. This is just for us. Thanks, Mr. Maven. The older man nods, shakes my hand, and leaves through the front door. I feel weird as I watch my wife come over. Jason, I'm sorry, she starts, her hands shaking. It's not what you think. Yes, it is, I snap as I sit back. Tiffany looks at me and says, let's go up to my room and talk, okay? Why? I look at her. I don't want to go back to your room right now, Tiff. You were just with another man there. Please, she says, looking around the room. Are you really scared about people here knowing I caught you with another man, Tiffany? I can't help but laugh and say loudly, my sweet, good wife is scared I'll make a fuss because she was with another man. Isn't that funny? Some people, including a clerk, look at me, shocked. Jason, let's go outside for some air, okay? We need a break. Tiffany stands up and grabs my hand, pulling, but I pull my hand back. Please, dear, don't call me sweet names, you little sharp thing. It might sound like a joke when I say it, but I'm not trying to be funny or light. Just moments ago, another guy was with my wife in a way that's hard to forget. How can I just ignore this? My wife sits back down. Okay, let's talk it out here, Jason, but keep it down. Kids come through here. I look around. No kids, but I still speak quietly. You were with another man. I didn't want to believe it, even when my sister said I was being foolish for thinking you did nothing wrong. How did I become such a fool? I touch my head, then say, Tiffany, why did you do it? She looks down, her hands twisted together. It's hard for her to face this talk directly. In a way, I feel a bit sorry for her. I came to protect her from making a mess, but I found out I'm the one who needs saving from her actions. I'm the one hurt. I have a big problem, Tiffany says quietly. What problem? I ask. She takes a breath. To be with other men for months. I try, but I can't stop. 4 months? Why not come to me more often, Tiff? It's been hard to even get close to you. I know, my wife says, her eyes starting to tear up. But you don't get what I'm going through, Jason. Get it? I have to laugh a bit at that. The irony isn't lost on me. Do you get how this makes me feel, Tiffany? Like I'm not enough for you? I know it's not fair, but I can't help it. You can at home, I say. Don't lie, Tiffany. You just want to be with other men. I can't stand you acting like it's some addiction. It is, she begs. Jason, I've been with 3 men today. I know, I say coldly. Mr. Maven told me. Mr. Maven? Who's that? She looks for answers but finds none. You've been tracking me? Yes, I admit, and my sister was right. The guy with the photos was too. Photos? Tiffany goes pale. I didn't think he'd do it. The guy in Atlanta? He did, Tiff. I have the photos and videos on a flash drive. More proof is coming. Proof? Are you thinking of leaving me? She grabs my hand, shaking. Please say you're not leaving. I think of pulling away, but don't. I've thought about it, Tiff. You don't leave me much choice. I'll get help, Jason. Don't go, she cries, the tears falling down her face. Your chance was before we wed. You were with my best man, remember? I remind her sharply. Right before we got married, you were with Rick. You remember that, right? My folks sure do. Tiffany nods as she wipes her tears. I did something bad, I get it. I told you sorry back then and asked you to let it go, Jason. I thought we moved past it. We did move past it, Tiff, but when you started being with other guys, that changed things for me, I say, trying to clear my throat. You can't get how hard this is for me. How many guys have you been with since we got married, Tiffany? How many? She looks away, knowing I'm looking for some kind of peace in this mess, but I'm not sure she can give that to me. Saying how many men she's been with after we got married would just give me more reasons if I decide to end things. I already have what I need to break it off, but her saying it out loud might make it final. Knowing her answer won't help her, Tiffany still tells me. 8. I repeat, shaking my head. When? She lets go of my hand and hugs herself. In the last year, Jason. Not before that, I swear. All in the last year. Why? I ask, squeezing my legs together tightly. I mean, we've been together a lot longer, so why look for other men now? I have to, she says, looking me in the eyes. Like I told you, Jason, I feel pushed to do it. I didn't buy the addiction excuse before, but looking at Tiffany now, I start to think she might not be making it up. You want other guys? Why not just me, Tiffany? She shrugs. It's not about you, Jason. I just like new guys. It feels fresh each time. Oh, now I get why my wife's been stepping out. You're not really having flings. No, Tiffany tries to smile, but it was hard as I kept a hard look. I don't stick with one guy more than once, Jason. In my head, that would be like cheating on you. This way, I get something new and don't fall for someone else, like with my best friend. Somehow, knowing this made it less bad for me. You're just eager. Tiffany almost chuckled. You make it sound bad, honey, but yeah, you're right. I just want a man when I feel like it. But you're so bold with them, Tiff. Mr. Maven told me about your first 2 guys today and how bold you were. That, and what I saw upstairs, shows you're more daring than I've ever seen. Why is that? I don't know why I'm like this now, but taking charge excites me. I want to dominate, make it messy and full on. Controlling it all is what I like, so I go in thinking I'll take what I want. I'll make a man give his all to me. Her eyes met mine as she said, maybe it's because I already have you. Could that be it? I thought for a bit before saying, might be, Tiff. Jason, I'm really sorry about all this. I know I should have talked to you about what's been happening with me and found a different way to explore my fantasies. I didn't want to hurt you. I really hope you can let it go. I hope you won't leave me, my love. She reaches for me, and this time I warmly hold her hands. I'm ready to seek help if you'll stay with me. Please, Jason. On one side, I worry about how Tiffany has changed these past few months. Saying yes to staying and not using what I know in a divorce could make me even more upset and angry later, but then I love Tiffany more than anything. We have 2 great kids who wouldn't get why we'd split, and I can't bear to think of hurting them that way, not now at least. Okay, I say at last. I'll stay, love, but you must really commit. Anything, Tiffany says, wiping away tears. Whatever you need. Marriage counseling, I say. That's my condition. A counselor? Tiffany has never liked the idea of counseling or seeing a shrink for anything, but how she's been acting lately tells me we need to get help. Help to understand how to save our marriage. As far as I see, it's the only way. We need a pro. We have to try this, Tiff. I don't see us getting through this without one. Will you try it with me? Slowly, my wife nods. I'll go. She vows to keep you. I'll do anything. You don't have to do that, but talking to a counselor is something we've needed for a long while. We have a lot to fix, my love. I bring one of her hands to my face and kiss it lightly. And now you're going to pack your stuff and come home with me. But the conference. Tiffany looks at me, then agrees. I'll get packed. Give me 15 minutes. My wife heads to the lift and back to her room. Now, I feel a bit of hope, not the dark feeling that was there just a bit ago. Standing up, I think about all we need to fix for our marriage. This hope is way better. Dr. Carlisle, thanks for meeting us, Tiffany says as we step into her office. Glad you both are here, she says, showing us to our seats in a cozy corner. Want something to drink? I have coffee, green tea, and water. Water for me, I say, taking my seat. Nothing, thanks, my wife says as she sits next to me. Not there, the counselor tells Tiffany. Please, the next seat. Confused, my wife moves as told. I'll be right back. Dr. Carlisle gets me a water from a fridge. Open it for you? With a puzzled look, I say, sure. She opens it, hands it to me, and sits between us. So, I heard you two are having troubles. Troubles, I say after a sip. It's more than troubles, Dr. Carlisle. She nods. Tiffany, do you think what's been going on is a big problem? My wife glances at me, then back at the counselor. It didn't seem a big deal until it got worse. Got worse? I look at Tiffany, surprised. I thought we agreed it was a problem, love. You said it was hurting us. Yes, I remember, she answers. But really, it wasn't hurting our marriage until you caught me. Her words hit me hard as I try to make sense of them. No way, Tiffany. Being with other men without telling me is okay. No way. So why is she acting like it's not her fault now? Dr. Carlisle, my wife has been with at least 8 other guys since last year. Tiffany told me so, and she's been using trips and meetings as a cover for her actions. This has been a mess for a long time. Has it, or did it just start bothering you now, John? Her hazel eyes catch mine, making me feel all wound up as I look away from the counselor. I can't lie, I find her attractive, her scent making me react. It's a problem, I say. How is it not a problem? The counselor leans back, looking right at me. I get that you're upset by what your wife did, Jason, but she sees it differently. Tiffany thinks she was just dealing with a need. She didn't want to hurt you but felt driven to do what she did. Driven? I look at both women. You two have talked before this, haven't you? I suddenly realized Tiffany had a chat with the marriage counselor before I could share my side. We talked on the phone yesterday, Tiffany says. Dr. Carlisle wanted to hear from me first. You talked to my wife, but not me? I shake my head at the counselor. Shouldn't you have listened to both of us before making up your mind? She gives me a smile as she glances at her notes. Jason, you've got to understand you two are seen as different people in this. I decided to call Tiffany because some things needed to come out before I met with you. So, I think I know what's wrong between you two. She's sleeping with other guys, I say, angry. This isn't my fault, Dr. Carlisle. My wife is with other men. She nods at the water bottle. Why did you want the water, Jason? I look at the bottle, then back at her. I don't know, maybe I was thirsty. You weren't thirsty, she says. I could tell the moment you walked in that you live like many men think they should. What does that mean? I ask. It means your wife is doing this because she wants to feel like she's in charge of her life. She feels you've pushed away who she really is for what you want. She looks at my water bottle again. Why did you ask me to open that for you? I shake my head. I didn't ask you to do it, Dr. Carlisle. You asked if I wanted you to, and I said yes. You opened it for me. I put the water bottle on the table. I can open my own water bottles. Sure you can, she answers. But you chose not to just now. You let me do it. That doesn't make sense. Would you have let a male marriage counselor open your water for you? Her question hits me. I try to think of what to say. Jason, would you? That's a weird question. I feel my face get hot as I try to think of what to say. No, I don't think so. Dr. Carlisle says, looking at my wife, Tiffany feels like she has to serve you, Jason, and just now you showed that this thinking is deep inside you. Women are not treated the same as men. How you talk to them and what they do for you can be different. Oh, she's onto something, I think, even though I want to argue with her ideas on this. The doctor makes me see something big when she says I would not have let a male doctor open that water bottle for me. It would have been a thing of pride because of some manly pride that would have stopped me from letting a man do it. You think I'm not being fair to her because she's a woman? Not unfair, she answers, as Tiffany keeps sitting quietly. Just different. It tells a lot about why your wife is looking for love with other men. That's why I don't chase them like that. My wife looks at us both. I don't share love with you the way I do with other men because I see you as the leader in our marriage. With other guys, I can be the boss and make them listen to me. Tiffany seems to feel lighter all of a sudden. I can't believe that's what drives me. Dr. Carlisle writes something down, then says, "This isn't new for me. Many couples have troubles like yours, but there's more to how you act with other men, Tiffany." "What's that?" my wife asks. Besides being bold, you are doing this more than what I've seen with my other clients. 3 men in one day isn't normal for someone just trying to feel powerful. I guess this is my fault too, I mutter. It's not about fault, the doctor quickly says. But you need to see that your wife is looking for other men because she feels she needs to. She needs to be with other men to sort out her feelings about how you treat her and to deal with her own needs. Nymphomania, my wife's voice is high as she says it. I'm not a nympho, doctor. I think you're a nympho, I say to her, trying to make light of it, but my wife doesn't laugh. She stares back, not amused. What can we do, Doc? She asks, wanting to fix our marriage just like me. Dr. Carlisle stands, walks to her desk, and sets her notebook down. Well, the old days of just being happy with each other are mostly gone. These days, it's hard to find couples who haven't stepped outside their marriage at least once. It's common. So, what's next? Tiffany is eager to find a solution. Try new things, the doctor says clearly, but it shocks me. She goes on, the need for control and these strong desires mean Tiffany has to act on this. She should be with other men until she feels it's not needed anymore. No way, my wife says, looking at me. Jason won't agree to this. Dr. Carlisle, this path isn't common. I point out, many other experts would argue. She nods yes, but those are the ones seeing marriages end. I've managed to save more than I've lost. She looks at us both. It's up to you two on how to save your bond. I can't make you pick, but I know where things might head if you aren't willing to try something new. Tiffany looks at me. Jason, I must do this right now. I feel like I need to go out and be with another man tonight. I don't want to upset you, but that's how it is for me now, damn. I stare at my hands, thinking about my sister's words. She wouldn't like me going to therapy with Tiffany, and knowing this would really upset her, but it's not her marriage. So, I take a deep breath and tell my wife, no more hiding things. I need to be there, be there. The doctor looks at me closely. You want to watch Tiffany with another man. I've seen it before, remember? Did you like it? She looks deep into me, waiting. I'm not sure, I say truthfully. Maybe it excited me a bit, Jason, Tiffany says quietly, surprised by my honesty. Is that okay? Dr. Carlisle asks Tiffany. I'm not sure, I tell my wife. That's not enough. You need to be okay with me being there if you're with others. I'm willing to try this, so I hope you can too, my love. I feel a bit aroused thinking of Tiffany with another man. Even though part of me feels weird about it, I still want to see it. Tiffany shifts in her seat. Jason, this is a big ask, she's quiet, then says, but I guess we can try. Just don't scare the guy away. I won't, I try to hide my growing excitement from both women. It doesn't help that my eyes drift to the counselor's top at that moment. We have a deal, Dr. Carlisle says, smiling. The next man will need to agree to have Jason there, Tiffany. If you can sort this out, it'll be a big step for us both, she says, reaching out to shake our hands. Good luck to you both. You'll need to see me again in a week or so to tell me how things are going. Yeah, we will, I say. Thanks for your help. My wife and I leave her office and head to our car. My thoughts are all over the place, but they keep coming back to what I saw in the hotel room. I need to get ready for this, I tell Tiffany. Me too, she says as we get in the car. This won't be easy for us. We drive off, both of us quiet, thinking about how it will be when Tiffany finds another man. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but also really nervous. This has to work for our marriage. If it doesn't, I'll lose hope fast. I don't want that to happen. My office phone rings as I'm wrapping up some work. Hello? I say, leaning back in my chair. Hey, honey, my wife's voice comes through. How's your day? I smile, liking it when Tiffany calls me at work. The counselor emailed us tips for dealing with Tiffany's needs and our marriage problems. Good so far. You sure? Tiffany sounds unsure when she answers. It's okay, I guess, but I hope it gets better soon. Okay, I'm puzzled by how she sounds, so I ask, what's up, love? All good, I wait, wondering if Tiffany will tell me what's on her mind as I hear her moving the phone around. My wife is a nurse, and she's always busy at her job, so I wouldn't be shocked if she was trying to do too many things at once, like talking to me and filling in patient files. I've got something to ask you, Jason, she says with a shaky voice, which means this is something big. What's that? I ask. She lets out a big breath. There's a doctor here. We've been talking a bit about our marriage stuff because of work. You're joking, right? I'm confused why she would share our private life with a coworker. Tiffany, you're not talking to people about our marriage therapy, are you? Just hear me out, okay, she says. I can't help but get annoyed as I loosen my tie. So you've been telling this guy about us, I say. Why, Tiff? We agreed to deal with this on our own, not drag others into it. He's trying to help, Jason. We said we would see if this thing with me would clear up on its own, she tries to explain. Are you serious? I can't believe it. You're thinking about sleeping with this guy, another one from your job? He's a good person, she tries to defend her point. A good work friend, Tiff. We agreed you were supposed to avoid your coworkers to not stir up trouble. This could really mess things up for you at work, I remind her. We've talked openly before about her looking for guys outside her job for us. We're set to hit a local spot this weekend to see if she can find someone for her first time with me just watching, yet she's found someone else quicker than we thought. Jason, I want this and I want it now, Tiffany says, clear on the phone. No matter how I feel right now, my wife will be with another guy today. That's tough for me, but our counselor says I need to be okay with it. At work, I ask, my whole body shaking, you can't there, Tiff? At his flat, dear. He's asked me to come over early today. It's a short walk from the hospital, and a pretty nice building, and he knows about us and what we talked about with the marriage helper, she says. Robert's cool with it as long as you're not angry at him. He thinks I'd be mad, I ask, trying to joke a bit. He was a bit worried when I first told him. He knew I was married, so I had to tell him everything before he was okay with meeting. So, you made the first move, not him, I ask. Him, Tiffany lets out a sigh before saying, I saw him, and I wanted him, Jason. This is something I need. I hope you get that. After a hard swallow, I reply, okay, what's the address? Thanks, honey. I'll send you the address soon. We're meeting in about an hour. Wow, that's really soon. You're leaving work super early, Tiff. They're okay with it, Jason. I've talked to my boss, and I'll work extra tomorrow to make up for it. We don't have many patients today, so it saves money for the hospital for now. I can hear her laugh softly before my wife says, just come to the flat and knock, okay? Don't just walk in. Don't scare him. We hang up. And soon I have the address. The doctor's flat is in a freshly fixed-up building just past the hospital, handy for him to get to work fast. The flats are big and nice, too pricey for most, but they make the area look good. I'd like to live in a place like that someday, but I need my insurance job to do way better first. I head over to the fancy building later and go through the lobby to the lift. The third floor, I remind myself, looking at the text from my wife. This place is really nice. The lift door is shut, and in a blink, I'm stepping onto the soft carpet of the third floor. I'm wowed by how the place looks and smells as I walk to the doctor's door. 312, I say under my breath just before I knock. My heart beats fast, hoping Tiffany got here before me. It'd be super awkward to meet the doctor first without her there. Hey, love, my wife greets me after she opens the door, her scent fills the air. Come in. I step into the flat and check out the big room. This is a nice place, I say. So where's the doc? Tiffany nods to a closed door on one side of the sunny room. He's in the shower. He'll be out soon. I walk past her, and she shuts the door. You okay? I turn to look at her. I'm okay, I answer, feeling a bit odd about this, but I'm good. Okay, she says, moving by me to the kitchen. Want anything? Maybe water? I nod and watch her grab a glass and fill it with cold water. From the tap. You seem at ease here. Sure you haven't been with this guy? I think it's a good question, seeing as I'm about to see my wife be with another man. I've only been here for 30 minutes, Jason. Robert told me to show you around and get you a drink if you needed one, so I did. Now I'm done being the helper, my wife says with a laugh, but I can tell she's a bit on edge. I get why she wants to make things lighter between us, but I just can't shake off the weird feeling about her being with another guy. I get it, I say, taking a sip of my water. How long till he's out? I ask, nodding at the closed door. Right as she's about to speak, the door swings open, and a man in a bathrobe steps out. Hello, he greets with a smile, walking over. I'm Robert, the first. Reach out, we shake hands, but I can feel he's a bit wary too, Jason, I say, looking him in the eye. Her husband? He nods. We've cleared that up. Yes. He tries to keep smiling and then asks, you good with this? I don't want any trouble, just say the word. And we stop. I look at Tiffany, seeing her worry that I might say no, even though part of me wants to. I end up saying it's fine as long as you're good to her. I feel a strange mix of feelings as I agree to let this man be with my wife always. He answers, do we do this here or in the room? He looks at my wife, moving towards her. Tiffany looks at me, unsure. What do you think? Anywhere, I say. I'm good with anywhere. My wife nods, then tells Robert, let's hit the bedroom for more comfort. If that's cool with you. Totally cool, he answers, taking her hand and leading her to the bedroom. I follow. You can sit over there. He points to a sofa. As we enter the large room, the big bed fills less of the room, and I sit on a leather sofa to the side. I'm glad for the space, letting me watch comfortably. I hope it's okay if I lead, Tiffany tells the young doctor. Without waiting, she kisses him, undoing the tie on his robe. Oh, Robert gasps as Tiffany moves to his neck, giving him a light bite. He glances at me, a bit red-faced. I feel a stir as I watch Tiffany take charge, something she isn't shy about, except maybe with me. I'm going to have you, my wife says, boldly opening his robe to show his chest and eager herself. Tiffany kneels, taking him in her mouth, and he can't help but react. Damn, he moans, his hand finding her head. Easy, slow down, he says, but Tiffany, she won't listen. My wife does what she wants, especially when she decides it's time. She'll keep going until she's happy. Just thinking about it makes me feel all tingly. I wish I was in his place, but watching is something at least. Wow, that's wild, he says as Tiffany gets closer. Oh no, not yet, babe, take off your clothes, I say, feeling uncomfortable in my pants. Tiffany looks at me sharply. You're supposed to just watch, she reminds me. Then she lifts her shirt, showing her breasts and a light purple bra. Soon the bra is off too. The cool air makes her nipples stand out. Robert can't help but touch them. Damn, she says as he plays with her nipples. She drops her pants and underwear, next showing off her smooth skin. I want to taste you, he says, lifting her. He places her on the bed, spreading her legs to go closer. Oh, Robert, she moans. I can't help myself. My hand moves on its own as I watch them. That feels so good. Tiffany flexes her feet as he explores her with his tongue. Oh, Robert, you're amazing. He lifts his head to say, I want you now. No, she grins. My turn. She makes him lie down. Tiffany takes him in her mouth deep. She barely chokes as she goes all the way with the kids as doctor, which is crazy because Tiffany usually doesn't like doing this for me much. Right now she looks like she's in one of those adult movies, taking his whole size and easily. Wow, that's tight, he groans. Dang, this is wild. I can tell that Robert likes to lead when it comes to fun stuff, but today my wife won't let him have that control. Tiffany pulls back, holding him tight. You'll let go soon, Robert. Bert, but only when I say so. She tugs, and he jerks a bit as she gets a bit out. This is mine. She licks the tip, making him jump again. Man, Tiffany, he says, looking shocked. What's this for? What do you want? My wife sits on him, her body ready. I want this, Robert, but my way. Just go with it. Okay, he says in a low voice as she takes him in. Our man, Tiffany, he calls out as she goes deep. My wife sees me taking care of myself. Do you like this? She asked, seeing me with him. While you're busy, I don't say it out loud, but I nod. I like you watching. Watch it all. A condom? The doctor asks as Tiffany moves on him. Nope, she says boldly. Quiet and take it, Robert. All of it. She moves faster, hitting the limit. Oh man, this is it. She pulls him in deep as she moves up and down, making the strong man near the edge of letting go. Oh no, Tiffany, I'll wait, she says as she gets off and holds his base tight with her fingers. My wife stops him just in time, shocking me with her skill. I can't recall her ever doing this for me. How'd you do that? He asks, looking up at her. Shush, she tells him before she puts him in her mouth again. Damn, Tiff, I let out as he goes back into her mouth. Darn it. Robert twists on the bed as my wife cleans him with her mouth. I can't. He starts coming again, and Tiffany holds tight once more. Please just let it happen, he begs. I can't handle this. You'll take it, she tells him as she goes to his chest and lightly bites his nipples. His hands find her back, sliding over her smooth skin as Tiffany plays with him. This is too much, Tiffany. She touches him again, strong. I wish that was me, I say to my wife. This is amazing, honey. I can't believe what you're doing to him. Tiffany doesn't look at me as she touches the doctor's lower parts, her mouth on his chest. Tiffany sits down on him, taking him in a new way. Careful, she tells the doctor below as she bites his neck gently. Wow, he feels my wife as she goes down. You're so tight, he says, hands on her, but Tiffany moves them away quickly. She's in control here, making sure things go her way today. Her hands hold his tight as she weaves her fingers in his. I like this, Tiffany breathes out, looking my way, her hips swaying slow. Do you like this, Jason? I do, I say as I feel closer to the edge. With a cunning smile, she says, I really do think you should, and gives a harder bump. Okay, hold off, Tiffany says, pressing his hands to his chest as she picks up speed. Robert, you wait till I say. The man moans as she advances on him, saying, I'm going to get there soon, I'm going to finish my way and you can't stop it. She cuts in, leaning back and beginning to touch herself. You're so tight, Tiffany, this is tough, quiet, she says. He reaches out to assist, but Tiffany knocks it away. She says, there it is, as she grinds against him and leans further back. Her body tightens and she says, my wife begins to get there. No, she ends, sounding different, the man still inside her. Oh, he's finishing in you, Tiff, Tiffany makes little noises as she still feels the man in her. Nah, Robert pushes as he pulls my wife close. He finishes in her and some of his stuff leaks out, he's done now, as he lets the last of it go into her. What's this? I look at them as I try to clean up. There's no cloth around, so I just flick the stuff from my hand onto the floor and try to tuck myself back. I can't believe this, Tiffany says. Tiffany apologizes if she offended anyone. It's not that, she says. I'm just over this. He seems perplexed. She says it again, like I can help. What do you mean just over? My wife and I are getting ready to go, and Tiffany's cold voice makes me feel a little sorry for the guy as she says, we had fun, now time for something else, thanks though. What the marriage counselor said now makes sense, the guy says, still bewildered. I see how easy she leaves a fling behind, no love, just a want for someone new. When she's done, she's really done, nothing more to it. Okay, Tiffany responds, pulling on her shirt. Let's keep this quiet, okay? Hungry, I nod as my wife smiles. Let's grab a burger before you head back to work. We don't say anything more to the guy as we leave. Can we? Chat, he asks as my wife says, I'm set, let's go. I follow her to the door where she gets her purse. That thing the other day, my wife begins, sitting close to the bed, was odd for you, right? She enters the room where I'm sitting, looking at news on my tablet. Yeah, I respond, setting the tablet aside. My wife follows. I nod, Tiff, it was really strange for me, you weren't the Tiff I knew before. My wife never chased me the way she chased Robert during our entire marriage. I'm not sure how to feel about her actions. Should I feel sorry for Robert because she pursued him in that way, or is it bad that she didn't show me that kind of desire? I got excited watching them, even though the doctor seemed really uncomfortable. Does this mean that I'm as strange about my preferences as Tiff? After only 2 days, I want to do it again with someone else. I thought this would be a once-a-month thing, but at this rate, it could turn into 3 times a week. I scowl at her. I know, but this guy is ready and he wants to do it today, she replies. Today? We can't do it today, I say, shaking my head as I consider her desires. Why not? Tiff gives me a stern look and says, it's Saturday, Jason, and we're both off work. I can't believe you're trying to stop this. I'm not trying to stop you, honey, it's just a few days ago, you were with Robert, and I'm still not sure how to process it all. I get up and walk past Tiffany to the dresser, where I pull out a photo that has been hidden in my sock drawer for ages. This is about us, I say, giving her the photo of the 2 of us when we were first married. What you do hits us both, whether it's with Robert or my best friend, it always touches me. My wife says, biting her words, this isn't about you. It was never about you. You can't hold before wet stuff over me forever, Jason, it's not right, Tiffany says, putting the photo away with a chilly expression. But my family saw you with him, Tiff, I don't like to pull out hard truths, but I feel pushed. Tiffany needs to understand that I'm willing to work with her to improve our situation, but not at the expense of her. I need to do this today, Jason, I must, she says, her expression making me pause and consider how determined she is to be with other men. If only she'd be like that with me, I could help calm her so much, just be with me, I say simply. Do with me what you did with Robert, I'll play along. She shakes her head, hands up, I can't, Jason, it's not the same. It can be, Tiff, I'll let you lead, I won't control a thing, not even at home, all yours, I tell her. I turn to my wife and she turns to leave our room, stunned. Hold on, not what I meant, I say, gently reaching out to take her arm. Tiffany turns to face me and looks into my eyes. Then I say, I just want to be close like you are with others, Tiff, can we try? She asks. You see, Tiffany and I can't just have fun like she does with others. What she has with them is empty and cold, almost mean. That can't be us. You know I move from one guy to the next because I just want fun, nothing more. We're different, we're married, not just for fun, she says, her eyes honest and cutting deep into me. She tells me, I never ignore how you feel. She comes over and gives me a soft hug, saying, I just might not always agree. I've noticed, Tiff, a lot. I take a step back to see her face and say, come with me today, Jason. I'll make it worth it. I have a surprise for you, a surprise. What kind? The kind many guys would want from their wives. Just come with me, later you'll see, she says. That gives me shivers to think about. She smiles and gives me a gentle kiss on the cheek. Your surprises tend to shock more than surprise, babe, that worries me a bit. Fear can be good, Jason, the right amount can make things exciting, trust me, I know. Come with me for a good time, she says. I guess we could do this today, but let's not make it so often, Tiffany. Every few days is too much. Can you try not to do it more than once a week for a bit? Later, maybe even less. I'm not sure if my wife gets how big a deal this is to me. She is staring at me intently. When she finally says, I'll try, come with me today and I'll try to wait till next weekend or longer before I look for another guy. I nod. Okay, I'll go. A grin appears on Tiffany's face as she gives me a strong hug. I give her a hug back, feeling a little excited about her being with another man. Thanks, Jason, she says as she backs away and goes to the bedroom. We should get ready. I go with Tiffany to get ready for our quick trip to the mystery guy's place today. Where to? I inquired. Over town, Tiffany explains, near the former retail location. The new area? That's a pretty pricey spot, honey. A developer turned a rundown neighborhood into a posh neighborhood with condos where cheap houses used to stand. Tiffany and I could never have afforded one of those condos because they were so expensive to rent each month. My wife looks at me worriedly and says, I have to be real, this guy I'm meeting, we both know him, as we pull into one of these fancy parking lots. Keep an open mind, Jason, she advises. Jason, calm down. Please be kind. My heart is racing in my chest. Who is that guy? I ask myself. It's just for fun. Spill it, Tiff, she said, obviously not wanting to give away who we're going to meet. What's his name? His name is Richard, she mumbles. You haven't seen him in a while. You're joking, right? You can't mean the Richard who was my best man and your quick fling before we got married. Not that Richard, I called him, sighing as I turned off the car. He's married now, so this is big for him. It's not the same Richard, right? She concedes, biting her lip. Not Rick, I grow angry as I confront my wife. Tiff, she says as she leaves, closing the door behind me. I call after her, Tiffany, is this not the same guy, right? She doesn't respond, which only makes me more important. I've told my former best friend to go out and never come back after what he did. It's not a good idea to see him now because I might lose it. Why is she acting in this way? As we approach Richard's door, Tiffany remarks, he's changed. He's got a nice life in the city now, but he still wants more, like me. I yell, lies, lies, lies. Please be calm. I'm thinking of just hanging back, but Tiffany answers the doorbell, looks at me, and a face I haven't seen in a long time peeks out. Hey, Tiffany. Jason, he tries to shake my hand, but I'm not feeling it. Come in, he says, turning back inside. Tiffany follows him. Come on in, my spouse says, glancing at me, please don't get us embarrassed. As my spouse closes the door behind me, I enter and wait. All right, let's get started, she says, passing through the living room and into what appears to be a bedroom. Richard asks, do what, as he follows Tiffany into the room and gives me a perplexed look. She says to our guest, take off your clothes. Do it now. We're short on time. What's happening? He queries. Take off your clothes, Tiffany reiterates. I remain silent while my old friend looks at me. He can tell that I'm not happy, but also that my wife is making all the decisions. Now, quickly, I'm doing it, he says, lowering his shorts to reveal his enormous size. I gasp at the sight and recall how years ago, right before our marriage, that big thing was with my wife. If Tiffany was looking for a big one back then, she definitely got it. You too, she says to me, strip. Observing me, she begins to undress. Why, she asks. Just do it, you'll see, I say as I nod and begin to undress, feeling a little embarrassed as I nude in front of another man. Tiffany quickly strips off her clothes and leans over the edge of the bed to reveal everything to us. Rick, please proceed now, he says, glancing from me to my spouse. We're not going to get comfortable first? No, Tiffany firmly says, just go. Tiffany looks him down until Rick approaches and lightly touches her. Come on, he forces his way in, and she appears a little uneasy as he fills her up. Go hard, Tiffany says, holding on tight, and I watch as Rick moves quickly and forcefully against my wife. I'm pretty sure he's going deep into her, probably hitting her low part. As he moves in and out faster, she yells, wow, babe, what's going on? You too, Jason, go in me. I let out a low sound, excited. I can't, darling, go in the same spot as Rick, I say as I fix my gaze on her. She says, my backside, do my backside. How? Looking at the guy with Tiffany, I can't see a way for me to join in. Her back while he's there. Stop, Rick stops and pulls out of my wife. Lay down, he does, and then Tiffany sits on him, putting him inside her again. Okay, Jason, my back, I need something slippery, I whisper. Just use spit, my wife says, kind of mad. If you want to do this, do it now. You won't get another chance, Jason. Tiffany looks back at me for a second before moving up and down on the other man. I move close to her backside and see it's pink and cleaned up, which I didn't notice before as I put the tip of me against her tight spot using spit in my hand. I ready myself before pushing into her tightness. Wow, I groan as I get in. Wow, careful, she guides while moving on both of us. I want us all to finish together, okay? Tiffany moves strongly as we go into her spots. I can feel Rick's move in my wife's other part, the wall between us thin and felt. I'm going to soon, I say as I feel Tiffany clamp around me even though I keep hitting Rick's part. I know I can finish in my wife, this is nice, my old friend tells my wife. He tries for a kiss, but Tiffany stops him. She's not here for kisses, she wants more. Keep going, Tiffany says as she bends. Wow, I can't, she shakes hard between us as she hits her high, her climax grips me tight making my body release inside her. No, my stuff shoots deep into my wife as Rick does the same in her. I'm just glad I'm not under because of how stuff falls, the last thing I want is to be covered in his mess like my mess is moving towards him. Dang, Rick's high isn't as big as mine, but that makes sense since this was quick and not planned. Tiffany wanted a quick and intense relationship with my friend, not a slow one. I have no problem with that. I'm watching to see how Tiffany takes us both as we all finish. My wife says, I dreamed of this but never really thought it would happen. She moves between us. I'm done, but Rick's still going, she says, and he gives himself one last chance. She says, get dressed, as she gathers her belongings. Damn, I begin to get dressed. Is that all? Tiffany, it wasn't like this before, Rick asks her. Why take this action? Before she can say anything, I say, that's how it is. You'll have to deal with it, Rick. That's not right. Tiffany isn't the same as before, she says, grinning a little at what I said. Tiffany puts on her final outfit as Rick's and my mess run down her legs. It's how it is, she says. We did it, we're done. Let's go, Jason. We both leave the apartment, leaving our host at the door, naked and perplexed by the quick escape we just pulled off. Get dressed, I nod, pulling on my shirt. We need to find a way back to normal, Tiff, I say to Tiffany as we head out. This ain't right, he says as we leave. We don't talk, just get in the car and drive home. Silence hangs between us as we sit in a small Italian restaurant, our food cooling in front of us. We're both shaken up by what's happened recently, but we don't know how to start talking about it. Tiffany nods as she watches me eat, and I understand that this won't be like anyone else's normal, but we need it. I begin eating my lasagna while I wait for her response. Jason, I'm not sure what you're expecting from me to make that happen. I still fantasize about hanging out with other guys a lot. It's difficult to resist. I smile a little at her. Just don't go back to any of my old friends you've been with, okay, Tiff? I can do that, she replies, but you've got to let me go out alone sometimes to be with a guy without you around. But the doctor said. Tiffany interrupts and takes a drink. I was there, and I know what the doctor said. I can try to keep things normal if you let me have my freedom sometimes, Jason, okay? Her expression affects me. I've always been susceptible to her charms. I think I can say yes to that idea, but I would want something too, I confess, a little anxious about my wife's possible reaction. She asks, setting down her fork, her face flushed. What's that? She asks. Tiffany says, I want to find another woman to be with too, with a shocked expression. That's not what we agreed on, Jason. That's not something I can do. You've had most of the fun so far, so it seems only fair I get a bit of fun for myself, I boldly say, observing the expression on her face. I know, but you're asking me to let you be with other men and not even be there. Even as a fantasy, she has never liked the idea of me with another woman, but after asking the questions, I can see how it might actually happen. Jason, that's not okay. Why not? You're doing it with other guys. But I have a reason. Yes, I do, I reply, grinning. I feel the need to be with other women. You alone can't satisfy that need. You said it yourself the other day, Tiff. You said our relationship makes the excitement fade. The wild, rough side you want can't be with me. It's the same for me. I need someone else to fill that gap. Tiffany scowls. It's not going to work, Jason. I lean back and laugh. It will work just as well as your plan. She refuses to acknowledge that I'm telling the truth. She asks incredulously, really? Well, my wife looks at me again after taking a quick sip of her water. I can get used to this, I tell myself, hoping that this won't happen too often. Jason, you mean as long as I don't do what you're trying to do? She looks away as she says, I'm trying, darling, really I am. I want to cut down and I will. I just don't want to yet. Now I understand what she's saying. My wife's expression brightens as I take her face in my hands and tell her, we won't lose each other, Tiff. We're in this for life, okay? This is just about fun, just sex, nothing more. No cheating, no lies, just fun. We can both like this idea, maybe even swap for a night. You mean we could meet a couple and switch for a night? That's the plan, I grinned. Both of us take a bite out of our food, chewing over our big talk. That would be fun, right? Tiffany says, we can do this, setting down her fork. This will be fun. It will, I assure her while putting my hands together. Love you. I love you always. This is just for fun, so our marriage is safe. It's just a little side thing for us both. Tiffany smiles. Okay, then. I have a guy in mind for tonight. Just me, okay? Tonight, I concur. A waitress who has been observing me looks at me. Tiffany looks at the waitress, laughs, and chops some more of her dish when I say, I think I found one too. Tonight, we each try something new. Resuming our silent meal, we are both prepared for our next move. My sister won't be aware of our new arrangement. I think it will be fantastic. Getting the waitress's number now. Hi there. Please feel free to forward these contents to your friends and family if you find them useful. In addition, as is customary, if you like this video, please click the like button to support our podcast in reaching a larger audience on YouTube, as the platform favors videos with a high number of likes. You might also think about becoming a subscriber to the channel so you can be notified whenever I post something new. YouTube will let you know as appropriate. I appreciate your help, and I hope you have an amazing day. Please comment 1 if you desire a different outcome, otherwise comment 0.